Alright, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be installing these spoon calipers that I unboxed yesterday or in the previous video. So I don't have my brake pads that came in yet. I didn't get my new EBC green stuff brake pads in. So I just bought some O'Reilly ones just for now, so I can install these since I am off today. And then I'll work for the next couple days, so I don't really have time to install these. So today's gonna be the day we install these. And I said these so many times, but yeah, it's the Spoon Twinblock. Now the difference between these and the Monoblock is the Twinblock is for the EK9 and the ITRs, and this is what works for the USDM cars, well, EK chassis and stuff. And then you get the Monoblock ones is for the EP3, S2000, and then the DC5, the RSX. Just a heads up, if you guys want to run these, then yeah, this is for EKs or Integras. And you will need EX, SI, GSR, or ITR, CTR knuckles. So the whole spindle. And luckily on this hatch, it is a DX model. You won't be able to do it unless you have the EX knuckle, which is what I have on that car. That I swapped from the coupe. So luckily I have everything. I have the sway bar and everything from the EX setup. So that's the benefit about running a EX/SI spindle. And on my brother's car, which he's cleaning up the mirror right now, this is a LX, so you guys can see how much smaller the rotor is. It's a 9-inch rotor, and then on my car is a 10-inch rotor, which is off the EX SI one. And yeah, it's a huge difference. You can see how tiny that 9-inch one is. And I told him he should buy my Willwoods, but he doesn't want to, right? We'll talk about it later. And these are the 10-inch ones, which are slightly larger by a whole inch. Now we're gonna be going up another inch to the 11-inch Mini Cooper rotors. These Mini Cooper rotors are from the base model. When I was at O'Reilly's, I just said the Cooper S, but you just have to tell them the diameter of the rotor and they'll find you the right one. You have to make sure you get a 280mm rotor, which will fit the calipers. That's what I'm gonna be running. And also for these brake pads, we have to shave these down and take off this clip. It has to look exactly like this, so you can run them in the caliper. And make sure you get, make sure you get ITR brake pads, since someone commented saying that the G's are slightly smaller, so you should get the ITR brake pad and it will fit snug in there. And this is the bracket for the top. Also, I did go to Honda, so thank you very much again, Lee, MVP over at Honda, for brand new banjo bolts and crush washers. I bought a new banjo bolt and crush washers because I'm not sure if the Willwood banjo bolt will fit, and also when I sell the Willwoods, or I might keep the Willwood so I don't have to change out the banjo bolt. But when you buy brand new Honda bolts, they're not even zinced anymore. They're just like this, just raw shininess. My brother's warming up his car, but check this out. What? Yeah, unfold that. JD Power 40 mirrors. Back in the 90s. Crazy. Alright, so I'm gonna jack up the car and start showing you guys how to take off the wheel calipers, and then show you guys how to install the spoon calipers and show you guys the size difference between both of them. Alright, so I have the wheel off and the car jacked up on jack stands, so don't worry guys. Since we're already here or looking at this whole knuckle all the way down to the lower control arms is EX/SI LCA. Well, lower control arm and this, because you can see, oops, you guys can see that the EX one has a spot so you can run a front sway bar, which I'm running a front sway bar right now off the old coupe. And yeah, so this is the EX one, which allows you to run a 10-inch. You cannot run a 10-inch rotor on the DX/LX ones because the hub is slightly smaller. And yeah, so this is very simple. So I'll take off that screw, take off these two 19s that are holding the calipers in, and then take off this 15 that's holding up the brake line. And the brake line I'm running are Jay's Racing brake lines when I picked them up in Japan. But very, very easy. Make sure you have a pan for the brake fluid to come out, and then pull the hub out, pull the caliper off, and then put everything else back on. And it's super easy to install. I feel like I don't need to make a video for this, but I will make one just because we're putting on new spoon calipers. So I'm There's a time lapse of me taking off all this and then compare it to the spoon calipers. Everything is off, and when you do install these spoon calipers, you will have to cut this shield, cut it right there, and of course the bottom cut right there, and yeah, and then the calipers go right on. That's what the instruction says on the calipers. And yeah, I feel I should replace these studs. These studs are kind of that's whatever. But if you go back over here, you guys can kind of see the difference between the 10-inch with the wheelwoods and then the 11-inch with the spoons. Now the calipers in size, the spoon is a lot bigger and bulkier, and on wheelwoods you're required to run the wheelwood brake pads only, and I think Hawk makes certain ones for these pads or for this caliper too. But I prefer the spoon because it is made by Nissan, which is the OEM company, OEM manufacturer of the the Honda calipers, and you can use OEM style pads. And this right here is a 280mm Mini Cooper rotor. This is just a factory 10-inch, 262mm, and then a 280mm. But the size difference, you guys could hella see it. Now this one, don't worry, I have to clean this with brake cleaner. But this is a Mini Cooper rotor, but if I put it on, it fits the Honda rotor or the Honda hub. That's one reason. But the lug nut holes are slightly bigger, but it doesn't really matter. It's all about the hub. And I'm gonna clean this off and then start installing it. All right, so going off the instructions by Spoon, we're cutting the dust shield right up there. And then for the EKs, which is what I'm doing, we're gonna be running the washer between the caliper and the knuckle. And this right here is for the D8 Type R 90 spec. You run the washer on the outside of the knuckle. So we're gonna cut the rotor or the dust shield first, and then after that, we are gonna pretty much bleed it. We wanna start from the outside and then move to the inside. Alright, so now since we cut the dust shield, we are gonna put the rotor on. And I already cleaned this with brake cleaner, just a heads up. And just to make this a little easier for us, since the rotor is slightly, the lug nut holes are slightly bigger. So I'm gonna put this on, just to hold it in place. Now to grab the spoon caliper, which is gonna be this one, make sure when you're grabbing your spoon calipers, you grab the one with this little hard line is facing the bottom, because you're bleeding from the top, not from the hard lines. So this one's for this side. And just gotta open up the hardware real quick. And then the washers. So we're gonna be running this on the back side of the caliper like that. And then we'll use the hardware they have to give us. Bolt. Put one in first, put the other one in. All right, there's one's in. Now I'm gonna move up to the top one. There we go. Both of them are in. Now I tighten it by hand. Kind of slippery with the brake fluid. Now that that's in, I'm actually now looking at the rotor. It looks like the rotor isn't centered, so I think I had to take off the washer. I'm gonna take off the washer and put the caliper back on with the washer in between the bolt and the caliper, not the knuckle. So I'll trial and error to make it work. We'll be running the washer on the outside. Yeah, that looks better. Now the rotor is centered between the calipers. So it looks like a washer for this car I have to run on the outside, not on the inside. And I think one of my washers got stuck behind the rotor. Oh, it did. There it is. So nothing is tied down all the way right now. I just mocked it up. But before, if I was running the washer in between the knuckle and the caliper, it wouldn't sit flush, or it wouldn't be centered. But since I'm running the washer on the outside, now the rotor is completely centered in between the caliper, and that's what you want. So now I'm gonna put the brake pads in, put the hard line in also, and then yeah, it should be good. And then put the wheel up, and then we get to bleeding the brake. Damn, that looks so nice. Woo! Now what I'm gonna do is put on the new banjo bolt. You can reuse your OEM one, but I decided to buy new ones. There we go. Put in between your brake line or your hard line, and then grab the other crush washer. Make sure you're running two, because if you're not running two, you will leak fluid. I'll take off this little cover on the spoon caliper. Make sure you don't over tighten this. You just want it to be tight. And there we go. New banjo boat with the crush washers with Jay's Racing brake lines. Now with the pads, how I was saying earlier, these front pads will fit fine because they're still right there, just like that. But the back ones, we'll just grab one. We're gonna have to grind off this tab. They put these on so you know when your pads are getting to the spot where you need to change them, they'll start screeching from this piece, and we need to trim this piece down. So we just need to make them flat and match the front pads. So I trimmed it down. Not pretty, but it's fine. You just need mainly this surface to be flat for the pistons to be on. And now to put these on and put the brake clips in, or the pad clips in. All right, so I already put the front pad in. Now to put in the newly shaved back pad. Slides right in. And now the spoon calipers come with these. Slide the bone in. Start screwing it in, like that. And it comes with a lock nut at the back. Yeah, come on. All right, gotta put these in. All right, put the other one in. Oh, his homie, yeah, okay, I know which one. Now, do you really need these? No, you don't need these calipers. Now, you don't have to over tighten it, just tighten it snug. There we go. All right, time to put the wheel on. Oh, before I do that, actually, I'm gonna test with the wheel, and then we're gonna bleed the brakes. But and I already know these wheels fit. Someone commented saying that they won't fit because the same specs. They have the same specs and they don't fit. But these wheels fit due to the specs. Wow, that looks so good. And yes, these wheels do clear. Look how much bigger that looks. Oh, that looks better. So they clear. You still have at least almost 5 mils of clearance with these wheels. These are 15 by 8, 35 offset, but also it all depends on the wheels you're running, because these are concave, so you're able to clear big brake hits with these wheels. All right, now do the other side, and then I'm just gonna time myself, and then we'll bleed the brakes. both sides of my calipers are on now in the rotors. Now we're gonna bleed the brakes, but make sure before you bleed the brakes, make sure everything's tight, and go over it again to make sure, because these are your brakes. These are what stop your car. So simple. I'm gonna start bleeding from the back though, so I'm gonna re-bleed the whole car. For these calipers, or for any 4-piston caliper, you're gonna start with bleeding the top. You do not bleed the bottom. That's the reason why they're lined like that. So you bleed the outside, then you move over to the inside and bleed inside. It's pretty much like bleeding from the furthest from the master cylinder. And then, yeah. Before I used to bleed using a bottle method, but I decided to pick this up on Harbor Freight. Seen a lot of people on YouTube use this, and I already bought a fitting for it from air compressor. So it's very simple. All the oil fluid will go in this bottle. That's why it's called the oil fluid bottle. And this right here will connect onto your nipple, your bleeder screw, and this bottle right here will go into your reservoir, and it always it pretty much autofills it. You don't have to keep going back and filling it up and everything. So you fill this up with brake fluid, and they have different adapters depending on what size your master cylinder is. So we're gonna use this, connect it up to my air compressor, and watch this thing work. So I'm gonna jack up the car on all fours, and then hopefully this thing works. If it doesn't, then oh well. I'll pour a new brake fluid into this bottle. Doesn't really matter how much you pour, because you always put it back. Make sure this valve is closed, so when you put the bottle upside down, it doesn't spill. Alright, just like that. Now we're finding the correct adapter for our master cylinder. There we go, found the right size. Now it just pouring itself in there. I just need to put something to hold it. Probably gonna put a rag or something. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys over here since there's no sun. So this bleeding system works really well. So you're just gonna stick this nozzle, or stick this little hose onto the breech screw. Press down on the handle, open it, and give it some time. There you go. Fluid's coming through right now. There's a lot of bubbles. Just wait till it's a solid line. That is it. The brakes are bled, and there's the new Spoon calipers, the mini rotors. It's gonna torque the wheels down and then go for a little drive and break in the rotors and the pads. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's helpful. Really simple. It's just like to replace your own calipers and your own rotors. Finally back home, test drive. Brakes are good. They feel a lot better than the wheelwoods. I think because the pistons are bigger. Let me see. Oops. Let's see if I can show you guys. But the pistons on Spoon calipers are bigger, and they stop way better, honestly. But it all depends on personal preference. But that's how I see it, and that's how I felt it when I was driving the car and all that. But benefits about Spoon calipers: OEM style pads, and it's made by an OEM company, or who makes pretty much Honda. Well, you're stuck with Twinblock pads or some other companies that make it. And also the bleed screw on this is super small. It's like a 6 mil. On the Spoon is an 8, and on my rear caliper is a 10. So this is very tiny. You have to buy specific like wrench, or just go like Home Depot and just buy like 6 mil and use it. But yeah, so I'm gonna post these up for sale now, and or if I don't post them for sale, they will be for the next car. So slap it over to the next car that I get. But we'll see about that. And yeah, I'll probably have a better review video of the 2 calipers later on, but we'll see. For now, it just is what it is. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're not, and peace out. And don't let others, just keep building your car.